I used to befriend married men and then manipulate situations to get them to divorce their wives. After that, I would send my 11-year-old son for halala, earning thousands of rupees this way. Once, I befriended a 50-year-old man who had 4 wives. When I sent my son to him, he started becoming weaker day by day. When I asked him the reason, he told me that the 4 women would say, "If a woman uses her cunning, she can outwit even the smartest of men." I was 40 years old, but I kept myself very fit. My complexion was naturally fair, and no one could guess my age just by looking at me. My hair was styled in layers and was always left open. My lips were always adorned with red lipstick. Undoubtedly, I was a social worker, and I considered it my duty to serve humanity. Whenever an injustice was done to a woman, I was the first to stand up for women's rights. This was the reason for my popularity on social media. I was charming and an expert in conversation. My sweet and gentle tone could make anyone fall for me, and my alluring demeanor drove men crazy. One day, a woman came to me and said, "My husband does not give me any household expenses even though his business is doing very well. I don't understand where he spends all his money, and our home is struggling financially." I listened to her problem carefully, gathered all the necessary details about her husband and his business, and then said, "Sister, you can go home and relax. Leave the rest to me." She was relieved after hearing my words. I had already obtained her husband's phone number. That very night, I sent him a message. My first words were bold. "Where are you, sweetheart? It's already 1 a.m., and you haven't called me yet. I told you I don't have balance on my phone." It was a simple trap, and it hit the mark instantly. He called me immediately. I picked up the phone with a seductive tone, and he anxiously asked, "Hello, who is this?" Pretending to be surprised, I replied, "Who are you?" I had a talent for changing my voice, making it impossible for anyone to guess my real age. He said, "You messaged me." I replied, "I sent the message to Rahul, but your voice doesn't sound like his." He insisted, "No, this is the number where the message was sent." I then said, "Oh, I'm so sorry, dear. Maybe I dialed the wrong digit." Thus, our conversation began. Within a month, I had made him completely obsessed with me. He was already frustrated with his wife's daily household arguments, making him easy prey for my deceptive words. Through this connection, I extracted large sums of money from him, but those few thousand rupees were not enough for me. When I realized that this man was ready to do anything for me, I told him, "Divorce your wife, and I will marry you." He remained silent for a while and then said, "She is the mother of my children." I responded, "I will take care of your children, but understand that I cannot tolerate another woman in your life, nor will she accept me." Gradually, he agreed to my demand. Once he divorced his wife and sent me the confirmation, I turned off my phone. My work was done. I removed the SIM card and threw it away. A few days later, the woman came to me crying, saying, "My husband has divorced me." I expressed deep sorrow and said, "I haven't even spoken to your husband yet. I planned to take time to talk to him and convince him, but I got busy with other work. I thought I would handle your case later." She sobbed. "He was involved with another woman, and he divorced me because of her." I told her, "Send your husband to me. I will make him understand that this is not right." She replied, "Why would he listen to me?" I reassured her, "Just send him." I had already disconnected from him using my fake identity. He was now completely lost, without his lover, without his wife and children. When he came to me, he was extremely distressed. This time, I sat before him as his wife's advocate. I asked, "Do you realize what you have done to your wife?" He admitted, "I made a huge mistake in anger and impulse." I continued, "But did you have a relationship with another woman?" He avoided my gaze. I then said, "Look, a wife is a wife. Now who will take care of your children?" He was utterly confused and admitted, "I don't know what to do. No one knows about the divorce yet, but I have no way out. I will be humiliated." I told him, "Don't worry, I have a solution." He looked at me with hopeful eyes. I continued, "I have a 14 or 15-year-old son who can perform halala with your wife." He was shocked. "How can a 12 or 14-year-old boy perform halala?" I explained, "I'm just trying to make things easy for you. If you go to a halala center, you won't know what kind of people you'll encounter. If you ask someone you know, they might refuse to divorce afterward. At least this way, everything will be discreet." He was deeply troubled and kept wiping his forehead. Meanwhile, I secretly laughed at his foolishness. Finally, he agreed. I continued, "Even if you go to a halala center or find someone else, they won't do it for free. My son studies in an Oxford school. His expenses are high. So a sum of 1 lakh rupees is completely justified. And since I am handling it, your secret will be safe, no one in your community will know, and there will be no scandal. I promise that my son will divorce your wife the very next morning." Desperate, he immediately wrote me a check for 1 lakh rupees. After he left, I called my son and told him about the new task. "Handle it well," I instructed. He simply replied, "Okay, mommy." I was a widow. My husband had passed away when my son was 8 or 9 years old. He was a bit frail but looked like a 12-, 14-, or 15-year-old. In reality, he was 18, and I had been using him for this work for the past 3 years. Initially, no one knew who Raft was. But now, my name was well known. People recognized me instantly because I was always at the forefront of advocating for women's rights. Women admired me. Several times, social media tried to expose me, but the support of women always protected me. I would visit poor neighborhoods, take pictures with suffering women, share their stories online, and build my reputation. I had earned both fame and respect. But behind this recognition, my true business was making me millions. My son was my confidant in this work. The next day, my son married the woman and divorced her in the morning. Her husband learned a valuable lesson: never engage in casual friendships with unknown women over the phone, it could cost dearly. I reassured myself. I have reunited a broken family. Even if my methods were wrong, the outcome was good, so I have no guilt. With this thought I calmed myself, believing that I had done a good deed, and Allah must be pleased with me. After all, humans are great advocates for themselves. When arguing in their favor, they never see themselves as guilty, whether in a worldly court or in the court of their conscience. And that's how my business thrived.